Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be reviewing the PNSO Spinosaurus. This is a very nice looking figure by PNSO. It's one of their older releases. I believe this came out in, I believe it was 2020, around then. Spinosaurus has gone through a few more changes since then. They did release a newer Spinosaurus figure, I believe, not too long ago, a few months ago, maybe like a year ago. It's bigger than this one. This one's quite small compared to the other PNSO figures. But yeah, it's a bigger one. It's standing on its hind legs, or its back legs, and it's not doing a weird knuckle crouch. But yeah, we'll get into that when we talk about Spinosaurus a little bit more. But yeah, let's go to the facts. Alrighty, so one of the first things I wanted to know about Spinosaurus is, what does Spinosaurus mean? Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. As you can kind of look on the back here, it's because of this giant sail on its back. It has these large, kind of bony spines kind of going up. You can see it in the figure, that connect to the vertebrae on its back, the back vertebrae. And, gives it that nice kind of spiny sail protrusion area, which is very nice. One thing I also would like to mention is that Spinosaurus is a carnivorous spinosaurid, if you didn't know. It lived in the late Cretaceous, about 100 to 94 million years ago, around then. It lived in what's now known as North Africa, which is very interesting. I believe I read somewhere that Spinosaurus was found more inland, so it liked to hunt in kind of rivers, lakes, swampy type areas. Because if you haven't noticed, so what does Spinosaurus remind you of? To me, it reminds me of a crocodile. As you can tell by a lot of the features of it, it looks like a crocodile. If you can look at the face here, it has a very crocodilian-like snout. It is. I don't think it's closely related to crocodiles at all. It's just adapted for hunting in and around water. As you can see, it has very crocodilian-like teeth, which make it very, very unique. And it would use these teeth. These teeth are adapted to kind of grab fish and various other things that were in the water. And there's a lot of debate on whether Spinosaurus is aquatic or semi-aquatic. I believe they go with it's semi-aquatic. They used to think it could dive, but I remember reading in a paper somewhere that Spinosaurus, it wouldn't be able to submerge fully underwater because of the sail, and I believe it had some sort of like air sacs inside of its body that wouldn't allow it to fully submerge under the water. You guys can quote me if I'm wrong on that. It's something along those lines, though. Air sacs of some sort inside of its body. But they do think that these Spinosaurs hunted more like herons. So it kind of like stood on the edge of the water and, kind of had its snout submerged inside of the water. And so you may be wondering, well, how would Spinosaurus breathe if some of its mouth was inside the water? Well, as you could tell, it has a very long snout, which would allow it to put half of its snout into the water. It would be able to breathe through its mouth, but, not through its nose, obviously. Then when the fish comes by, you lunge forward, grab it, and have a nice, tasty snack. So yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Another thing I was also wondering about Spinosaurus is, why does it have these very large claws? Well, from what I read, it looked like they would use them to kind of grab their, like fish and stuff and kind of hang on to them. Fish are very slippery, so having these big, long, curved claws would help them grab fish and would help them eat them a little bit better, so they don't flop away and, be all slimy and gross like fish are. And if you haven't noticed, this model is a quadruped. It's walking on 4 legs, which is what we originally thought Spinosaurus was. We originally, well, it keeps on going back and forth, but they thought it would be on 4 legs. So like, how would it distribute its body weight? They were like, they weren't exactly sure how that works, but they did some studies on it, and it had to do something with around this area, around the kind of hip area. And so it would be able to walk on 2 legs like a bipedal dinosaur. So Spinosaurus walking on its knuckles like that is not scientifically accurate that we know of. It did walk on 2 legs, so its hands would be off the ground. And it would spend most of its time by, water hunting fish. So I'm assuming the water would probably also help it be a little bit lighter, I'm not saying that it spent all of its time in the water. It was definitely able to walk out of water. But yeah, I thought it was pretty neat. Also, another thing about the spine on Spinosaurus is kind of what was it really used for? Some people think that it could have been used for thermal regulation. I kind of think maybe sexual display, you know what I mean? Have a very nicely colorful spine on those back. As you can see, this one's very colorful, but we'll get into that when we actually look more closely into the figure. But I think it could have been for sexual display, Thermal regulation is also a good, guess on what it could be. Having this nice splay up, having the wind kind of hit, it would really cool down the dinosaur, But yeah, very nice looking one. You can also look at the tail here. A lot of earlier depictions of Spinosaurus didn't have this kind of fin on the tail, but they recently, I don't know if it was super recently, but they discovered that the spines on the tail vertebrae also went out like the spines on the back. Not as far, but kind of giving it a paddle-like look, which is very, very interesting. Yeah, very neato. So the first bones for Spinosaurus, they were discovered from Egyptian remains. It was discovered in 1912, and they were described by a German paleontologist by the name of Ernest Stromer in 1915. The original remains were destroyed in World War II, but we have found more since then. He made some I believe he did some drawings of the bones. I can throw that up on screen right now so you guys can see what those drawings look like. And it kind of gave us a description, kind of showed us like what the face showed us what the bones looked like that they found, which is very interesting. Also, Spinosaurus is one of the, if not the longest carnivorous dinosaur that we have ever found. We think it reached around 46 feet and weighed about 8.2 short tons. So that's a big, big boy. Alright, so without further ado, let's actually get into the review of this figure. First of all, let's measure it from the side of its head all the way down to its tail. Looks to be about 8.5 inches. Around then, 8.5 inches, which is very interesting. From the side of the tail to the side of the head, I could use a string and actually measure it out to see how long it would be standing straight, but I'm just talking about the, just the length of the figure as is. It's a very nice looking figure. The color scheme is very, very lovely, I do have to say. I do like the color scheme quite a bit. Very nice black colors, kind of like a tannish white color for the nice sail right here, and around it has this kind of brownish red rust color, which gives it a very unique, nice look. Alright, then we can look at the face of the Spinosaurus. Very well painted. The crest is red, which is very, very nice detail. And the tip of the snout is kind of an orangish, yellowish color. The teeth look amazing. The sculpt on it is just phenomenal. You can open the mouth. It has one point of articulation, which is the mouth. You can look inside of the mouth. Very nice looking. A lot of detail. PNSO usually has a lot of detail in the mouths of their figures. Very well painted too. The teeth aren't they aren't painted bad either. They're painted pretty decent for what it is. You know, and I like how the jaw can close and it kind of like aligns with its little move the teeth down. The little notch you can see right there. Very nice. Alright, let's turn it to the side. Man, just the colors on this, they did a really good job. You know? I don't know, I like the black and the kind of rust. And is it a hint of maybe a greenish yellow even? Very nice, very nice. Pattern goes all the way down to the tail. Man, would you look at that. You can also look at the spine here. And like I said before, you can see the protrusions going up, which is very nice attention to detail. You can also see the kind of protrusions on the tail here, which is very nice. The scales look very good also on the belly area. Has a butt there. Very nice, very nice. The feet look pretty dang good for what they are. 3 toes with a little digit on the side right there. If it'll focus. There we go. Very nice. Same with that toe, and has nice webbing between the toes, which is very interesting. And something that I also like about it is the big, ginormous claws it has right there. Look at the size of those things. Man. Let's look at this foot over here. This one's kind of curled up in a knuckle position. Very, very nice. You know, and like the scales and the folds of the entire figure look really nice. The arm is very kind of chunky looking, almost like an alligator, right? Very nice. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very nice looking figure. A lot of very awesome details into it. I'm definitely looking forward to getting more PNSO in the future. I've had this one for quite a while. I just haven't done any reviews on them. I only have 4 PNSO figures at the moment. But yeah, no, this is my only carnivore too. So it's very nice having this in my collection. I want to eventually get the more up-to-date PNSO Spinosaurus figure. But yeah, you can also see around the spine, or the sail, has like kind of a nice yellow. Yeah, it even goes all the way down the tail. Very nice yellow kind of line going up the spine and down it. You can see there. Very nice. And it seems like the proportions are pretty dang accurate on this guy. It is a little bit older, so some things will most likely be outdated. Like, I think the spine here is supposed to be a little bit more like that, because the paleontologists, they seem to go back and forth of how the spine placement goes. So it's kind of like, I'm not too sure. I'm not an expert on Spinosaurids, or in Spinosaurus in general. But yeah, very nice looking figure. We'll definitely be getting more PNSO figures in the future. And if there's any figures you guys would like to see me review, put it in the comment section below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. But yeah, I don't know. Nice little figure. Well, I guess we'll probably call it here, because there's not really too much more I could say about it. It's just really nice looking, you know? Just a lot of good detail, a lot of nice colors, you know, it's Spinosaurus. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Make sure to keep on learning about dinosaurs, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.